So I hear you want to invest like a millionaire. You ever hear about the wealthy not paying taxes because they take a loan against their assets and use that money for purchases? Using other people's money to fund their lifestyle. That's the game, and we're going to use it for investing. Those loans are not taxed because it's debt, not income. We have a way to use this exact same formula to help us invest faster, and it's called margin. I took a small margin loan of $16,000, and I am using the money to buy equities that will generate even more money. Let's find out how. As always, the following is not financial advice. I am simply sharing my financial journey. So here we are, using other people's money to make us a profit. This is money that we did not have to work or trade time for. I took a $16,000 loan and bought the following equities to help pay the loan off, and then some. Generating more money than your interest rate on the margin loan is extremely important, otherwise you're wasting money, and we don't want to do that. I bought $4,000 each of MSTY, BTCI, TSLP, and ULTY. Each of these equities should be paying more than the interest rate on my loan, generating me free cash flow and allowing me to invest more without using any more of my money. The basic plan that I have is that MSTY and ULTY payments will go half to paying down the margin debt and half to either a growth ETF like VGT or back into MSTY and ULTY. The payouts from BTCI and TSLP will go towards paying down the margin balance and interest until that is fully paid off, which should be sometime in 2026. My interest rate is currently 12.575%, which does seem high, but it's cheaper than a credit card loan and just a little bit higher than a home equity line, but with much less paperwork. BTCI should generate more than 21% during this time, TSLP more than 25%. MSTY and ULTY, I'm expecting to have more than 50% income generated to help pay off the loan. So we are looking good to make more than our interest rate, pay down the loan, while having some extra money to buy more assets. If you're still here and interested in knowing more, here are some facts and tips for your margin experience. Margin is a loan you obtain from the brokerage to buy investments, or you can withdraw it, but that's not what I'm using it for. I'm using it purely for investing. Just like every other loan, you must pay interest on the amount borrowed. With the brokerage I use, Fidelity, the rate is based on how big of a loan you take. The bigger the loan, the smaller the interest rate. The size of the loan allowed is dependent on the equity in your account, so it's basically your assets minus your liabilities inside the account. Brokerages also have a maintenance requirement, meaning you have to have a certain amount of equity in your account to continue investing. They're not going to let you take out $1 million loan if you've only got $30,000 in your account. Doesn't make sense for them. If during the course of your investing journey while using margin you drop below a certain equity position, you will either have to deposit cash or you can be subject to what's called a margin call. During a margin call, your brokerage has the ability to sell some of your equities without your consent, and you don't really get to choose which ones are being sold to get your equity percentage back above their limit. Each brokerage has specific amounts of equity for their level before a margin call happens, so make sure you know what that is. As long as you don't exceed the margin requirement, you can pay back the loan at your pace. There's typically not a term for the loan. You just have to keep paying interest the longer that you owe money. One other benefit, I guess, is that interest for margin loans can be tax deductible, so that can help out during tax time. Before we finish up and continue on with our margin experiences, here are a few tips to reduce your margin risk. Don't over leverage. Make sure you keep your equity level healthy to keep you afloat during ups and downs. Make sure that you are making more money from the investments than your interest rate. Otherwise, you're just wasting money and you're paying your brokerage more than you're making, which doesn't make any sense. Keep an eye on your margin equity. If you're getting close to the maintenance requirement, make sure you start planning ahead for where you're going to get the cash from in the event that you do get to a margin call, so the brokerage doesn't just sell your shares. You have more control this way. Make sure you're keeping up with the interest payments. You don't want to get caught up in a situation where your margin is growing without purchasing any more assets. Well, that's it. Now we're using other people's money to invest and make our portfolio larger, faster than we could have done alone. It's like having money as employees where they have to produce more than you pay, otherwise it costs you money. Make sure that you are the boss of your finances and make sure every dollar is working as hard as it can. Any comments or questions, drop them below. Follow us over on X for more updates as far as dividend payments and how we are doing with our investing journey. Subscribe for more content and watch other videos about investing if you're a beginner. Thank you for watching. This is James from Novice Investing Guide, signing off.